while since I've done a presentation. Took a hiatus, got a master's degree in music composition for 2 years. And so now I have the certification, so you can all take my word more seriously. So that's that. And we are starting. Okay, my name is Bradford W. Tilden, and I am a crystalline sound healer. I have been doing this my entire life since I can remember. If it's not playing, begging my parents to give me piano lessons, to singing a high falsetto voice with the choir during church. My mom would elbow me in the ribs because I have this really great range that I discovered I was born with and gifted with. And if you're familiar with sound healing, Tom Kenyon's another popular sound healer who has another massive range. Not to say that that's good or bad, because my whole message for this workshop today is actually finding the power within yourself, with your voice, to just explore sound healing on your own. So I'd love to thank you all for attending this little mini workshop. We've only got about 45 minutes. And there's so much I like to do, there's so much I like to share. I'm a born teacher, but I'd like to utilize this time and space the best that I can. So, first of all, I came to crystal bowls rather unexpectedly. Like most of my spiritual journey, it happens unexpectedly, but there was always some choice that I made, or some dream that I had, or some notion, some intuition that I had to follow to go here or do that there. And in this case, I had decided to study sound healing at the Globe Institute in San Francisco, California. And it was unrelated to this. Well, my motivation was music composition, massage therapy. What's the bridge? How can you bridge that gap? Sound healing. So I attended the first class on the first day. My long story, which is very interesting and exciting, I'm editing out for the sake of time. But first moment, I walked into a class and the woman had a crystal bowl. And when I heard the sound, I felt like a door opened up in my brain or my aura, and I felt all of this expansion and this energy download at the same time. Because while I was writing my undergrad thesis, I kept hearing this drone in my head, especially when I was in the shower, and I would tone and harmonize with that magical drone, so much so that I orchestrated one of my pieces for microphone wine goblets, because I used to spin my finger around wine goblets when I was young, and that was the closest approximation to this sort of clairaudient sound that I was receiving, which turned out to be the sound of a crystal bowl. So I got very excited and I acquired one right away. And I just would like us all to take one moment to ground in your seat. Stand if you want. You can move around, do yoga. I don't really mind as long as you're not distracting. But I firmly believe in authentic expression in every moment and your comfort among everything else. And so I would like to walk you through a guided meditation just so we can create the space just a bit and so people can wander in. And I will play a bowl. And first what I want you to do is to assess the energy in the room, how you're feeling mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically, and let the bowl fill you up with its amazing, clear and healing, expanding qualities. And I will just do a little quick thing, and then we'll get back to the meat and potatoes of this, which is everything. Take a deep breath in, close your eyes if you choose, and exhale fully, clearing your lungs and your breathing cavity of silence for a moment. How do you feel now? How does the room feel now? How does the energy in the room feel? Just, you don't have to comment, just answer for yourself. That was a really little slice of an introduction to sound and to breath and the sound of a crystal bowl. Out of curiosity, how many people have never seen or heard about a crystal bowl before? Raise your hand. Yeah? Cool. Awesome. How many people own a crystal bowl? How many people, great. How many people use crystal bowls? Okay, awesome. And how many people are, well, interested to know more? All right. Well, I'll give you a brief little history, I guess, physics, or physical mechanics, and a little physics lesson in acoustics, which are all very powerful because of how you can utilize them for yourself and for others if you're working with it for healing. Now, I know of many people. A lot of them are close friends of mine. They always they have crystal bowls, they have Tibetan bowls, they have other sound healing instruments. And they do these wonderful sound journeys. There's some guys up in East Hartford at the Conduit Center. They have big gongs, and they do those gong baths, and they're great. And we're planning another event for me to come and collaborate with them. But a lot of people just play them as a percussive instrument, and they do have different pitches, and the different pitches do theoretically correspond to the different chakras or energy centers. The Tibetan bowl healing method is based on that, and the crystal tones, who are the distributors and manufacturers of these crystal bowls, they also have a chakra correspondence system, which I do and don't adhere to, but this all goes back to the physics. Personally, I believe every person is a unique vibrating being in the moment here. Like that, the frequency that you're vibrating at right here, right now is going to be different than the frequency that you're vibrating at when you're walking through the expo, right? Even like, you go to different booths, you feel the different energies that's around. So for someone to categorize and say, well, if you want to use, open your crown chakra, you should use a bowl that's tuned to the pitch B. The Western system is that the root chakra is a C, and then you go up the scale through the 7 chakras all the way up to B, with the sharps increments like the other secondary chakras, or things like the zeal point here on the chin, which is a Chinese acupuncture meridian point. That's all fine and dandy, but when you get to the point where you explore the power of sound through the bowl in your voice, you can use any bowl to create any change and to help anyone in any situation, because you have the luxury of the bowl being a grounding, rooting foundation or fundamental, and your voice can dance around that and access any number of different intervals, harmonies, variations, and also acoustical phenomena such as consonances, dissonances. Everyone familiar with those terms? Consonance, dissonance, like in music, if something resolves, something's nice and harmonious, it's like, there was the consonance, but in order to have the harmony, you have to have the dissonance. In order to appreciate the joy in life, you have to have the sorrow or suffering. I'm not a proponent of that, but you could definitely suffer with grace and joy, or interpret a challenging situation as a learning experience rather than a terrible thing. But so when you are creating sound and there's 2 pitches, if they're in harmony, that means it means their wavelength, their waveforms, which here's the physics lesson. Pitch is measured in frequencies, and so an A vibrates at 440 hertz per second, or so that it's like going like this. And then depending on how high it is, Like a low frequency has a very low, like a bass note has very low, actually physically long wavelengths. So things are in harmony, they're mathematically equivalent, which means a low A, the high A would fit in it, like X amount of high A's would equal one low A. So if you're looking at the waveform on a spectrometer, like you can map sound waves, they'll be very harmonious in appearance. If you have an A and then like a G sharp, they conflict. The G sharp is slightly larger than the A because the A is higher. So it takes X amount of G sharps to match up in line with the A. And in the process, what you're doing is you're creating a beat, which in my opinion is interpreted as the dissonance. So I'm going to actually give an example of singing a consonance and a dissonance, and I would like you to feel what they feel like. Because this is how you can use your voice and the bowls, or bowls in general, to create sound healing. Could you feel? Right? Yeah. Okay. Good. Because I always wonder, because I feel it, because I'm singing it, and I have the vibrations coming like this, and I have no idea what happens out there. Because people have different experiences. I'm so glad to feel it. Okay. So obviously that takes a little practice to be able to do that. Which, how much time? I'm already up there. Okay. So, oh great. So the first, well, all right, crystal bowls. They're made of tiny crushed quartz crystals that are melted at high temperatures and spun in a centrifuge. Yay. Okay. And there are archaeological records that indicate that people in ancient Egypt actually had some similar bowls. They were very tall, vase-like things that they used for sound healing. And if you want to go way into the depths of interestingness, some people have theorized that the raised hieroglyphics in the King's Chamber and all the pyramids are actually very, very, very precisely measured out, that if you go into them and you chant or tone with your voice, you can activate hidden knowledge, cosmic records and stuff, which is actually sonically coded based on what frequencies are mapped in there and how you can activate them. I haven't been to the pyramids yet, but I will say I've had some interesting experiences down in Machu Picchu. But again, it's the voice. And I'm kind of devious because, people want, well, Dory asked me to talk about crystal bowls, but for me it's crystal bowls and the voice because they go hand in hand. So when I started getting into crystal bowls, I found one that had an imperfection in the casting process. There was a little nipple on it, and they called it a primordial diamond because it was, they've since perfected that, and they don't really make many mistakes in the manufacturing process. But the benefit of that was that it had variation in pitch and volume. So when I went and I worked with that for about 2 years, I was able to go in so deep to the microtonal adjustments and explore the tension and release of the consonance, dissonance, how it felt in my body and whatnot, that and then I just became a master at this like frequency, this subtle frequency sensation, and teaching my body to experience the different energies. And that rolls over into interacting with healing, with energy, with intuition, how at some level you perceive energy, and that's what your intuition is, or even different frequencies, different feeling vibrations of different guides, or crystals, or anything. To me, it's all about exploring and educating the body on a vibrational level that through sound you can actually tangibly heal, or hear, and heal. One of the teachers at the Sound Healing Institute, she was getting recurrent breast cancer, and she was adamant not to go to the surgery, so she took a crystal ball and she toned for 4 weeks in the desert with it, going very, very deep, because you can go very deep, just you and a bowl on yourself, and the tumors disappeared. And of course, in Western medicine, they actually use sound healing to pulverize gallstones and things now, as opposed to invasive surgery. You can find a frequency that will destroy the stone, and actually they're starting to research that you can actually destroy cancer cells by using sonic resonance frequencies that make the structure of the amorphously shaped cell rupture and explode while leaving healthy cells safe behind. There's tons and tons and tons of research on there about sound healing that are available on the net, and this is just like the tip of the iceberg. For me, it's all about fun, and it's all about goofiness, and it's about self-expression. So that's my story. Oftentimes I like to tone or sing, and I'm basically channeling, I guess you could call it your soul language, or your soul song, your soul expression. And if I have time, I will have time. I'll share with you a little spontaneous soul song with the bowls, and then clear the air so I can calm down a bit, hopefully. So just relax, and this is my, I'm getting emotional. I love to do this stuff. I asked wow, okay. Didn't expect this, but I have to share it. I used to ask my guides what my purpose was, They said to sing. Okay. So here we are, and thank you for coming. Whew. Oh it's so interesting what happens to me when I'm on stage with bowls on a table and lots of people in the audience. I was losing my voice earlier today already as I get into these like download conversations with people. And I'm grateful that, I'm sure you heard the like scratchiness that came and went sometimes, because that is actually very relevant to how you can use your voice to heal yourself. My belief is that there's a lot, we all have energy that we collect, you know, we don't process all of it, you know, so we block energy, we get stressed, we get, you know, tight traps, sore backs, whatever, you know, weird phantom pains in your leg. And, you know, it's all related in some level to emotional energy that hasn't been fully processed or, you know, like just released, right? And, you know, society conditions us to like, you know, bite our tongue or when we're a kid or all these things that suppress the expression of sound. Well, you know, emotion is energy in motion, and energy, anything that vibrates is producing a sound on some level, right? A vibration. Even if you can't hear it. You know, I mean, we can't hear dog whistles. That doesn't mean that there's not a sound, right? So, what I like in sound healing too is if the energy that's not expressed properly is stored in your body somehow. So if you were to create sounds that emulate that energy or have some sort of, the sound, what it does is it creates a sort of a way out to express that stuck energy. And a great way is you scream when you're mad, you know, and a lot of people communicate, they communicate very emotionally, and there is an emotionally charged quality to what they're you know, saying or yelling or exciting or whatever. There's always a level of emotional energy that goes along with what people are saying. And if you were to roll that back and remove the language and just have the sonic elements, you would kind of be able to communicate with someone based on what emotional energy they're attaching to the sound. So what you can do is you can go into yourself and you can process and release that emotion or that blocked energy using your voice. And I use the bowls as an auxiliary for that because it's more powerful, and the bowl is always making sound when you're inhaling, because unless you're a miracle man, you cannot make sound while you inhale, unless you know how to circular breathe, and I've never tried that for toning. But anyway, so it's a process of self-discovery, and the best thing to do, like what I did with you at the beginning, was to take a breath in and just exhale with an audible sigh, and that's the first step towards discovering sound in your voice. Now we've got about over 15 minutes. What I would like to do is explore what a lot of people call toning, which is a meditative practice of sound healing with the voice. And in my opinion, it's like breath healing or breath work, you know, to the nth degree, because instead of just exploring your breath, you're actually taking it a notch up and creating something with the exhale. And by creating, I mean creating sound. Now, sound actually is what contains things. This is here because it's vibrating at a certain frequency. It's a constant frequency. You're sitting in a constant frequency. It's the view, you know, it's actually on a microscopic level just a lot of air and vibrations. So, you know, remember that, like, what you see really isn't always around, or it's not what it appears to be. Where am I going? I'm not quite sure. Okay, toning. So, yeah. It's always hard because I'm trying to assess the experience level of people in the room in my psyche. What I would like everyone to do is to stand up, and if you're able to, and now you can sit. But crash course in toning. Crash course in toning. That's what this is. So I mentioned there's three areas of your breathing chamber, I guess: the diaphragm, the chest, and the clavicle, right? And you can actually feel, if you were to put your hands like this, and exhale or inhale, you should, if you're using your diaphragm, feel like a little rubber tire that is expanding. If you don't feel it, don't worry. I don't feel mine right now because I'm not breathing with my diaphragm because I'm speaking at an elevated energy. But if you relax, and then, you know, sigh, get all that air out, which I think you might need to do before you can feel it, because we literally don't. We don't often empty all the air that we inhale. We actually hold air in our lungs or especially in our diaphragm down here, and it's just sitting there and it's collecting energy that needs to be released. And if you can't feel your diaphragm, empty your everything out before that, and then inhale as far as you can. And at some point, you should feel some expansion down there. Cool. And now the chest, same thing. A lot of people do shallow breath in the chest, and people breathe differently through different times of the day. It's not like you're in one set breathing area. Just notice how you're breathing right now. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's not better, it's not worse, it's how you are right now. And it's a good way to just do that. How do you normally breathe in your daily activities? Are you aware of your breath? Do you realize you're not breathing, or you realize you're holding your breath? Are you of the awareness, of the self-awareness to be able to stop what you're doing and assess how you're breathing right now? Just such a fundamental thing, and expanding your awareness throughout your daily routine. You'd be surprised how you breathe differently in different situations. Like I noticed I was holding my breath while playing the piano in difficult passages, and then I realized that when I was breathing in those difficult passages, they weren't difficult anymore. It's weird. So, and then up here it's kind of tight too, you can move it up. So, all right, I kind of introduced you at the beginning, so what I'd like everyone to do together is a deep inhale. You can move your arms if you want, I don't care. And then, keep going, squeeze it all out. Like the bottom of your breath is like wringing a towel out, like there's moisture you don't like, you want to drip it. And then actually, if you can, hold it for a second down there before you inhale slowly and evenly all the way up from the diaphragm to the chest to the clavicles, all the way up. And then hold it for a second. And when you hold your breath at maximum, suddenly relax your shoulders. Like put them down. Like hold your breath. Is your breath still held? See, where are you tight in your body, and try to relax it. And then go, So let's try that a couple times. We're going to inhale together. And when you get as high as you can, try to relax whatever you can without losing breath. And then bring it out, 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 bring it out. All the way, squeeze it. If you can't make any sound, just keep ugly sound is good. You're squeezing out the crap, the black. Black. All right, now inhale. Inhale through the nose and out through the mouth if you can. All the way. Now there's shoulders up to their ears. Now relax your shoulders. Now I want you to make an ugly exhale. Ready? Inhale. Ugly. Ugly. Keep going. I want to hear it. Holding one exhale. Exhale. Keep it. Cough if you need to. You're clearing things. Okay, now inhale. Now a happy exhale. Yeah. Now stop a minute. Notice how you're breathing. Notice how you're feeling. Are you more energized? Yeah. All right. Now is the fun stuff. I would like everyone. Okay, so toning is doing that continually for an extended period of time. Or whatever. The best place for me, personally, is in my car when I'm driving anywhere. Sometimes, NPR is great, don't get me wrong. Y'all listen to NPR, I imagine. But sometimes it gets oppressive, all the news coverage that you hear every half hour. It's the same news. So if I have a 2-hour drive, I'm hearing the same story over and over again. I'm like, okay, I turn the radio off and I tone. That's exciting. I have my timer on, so I didn't silence it. Okay. You're in your car, you're alone, no one's going to judge you, you feel very safe and comfortable. All right, check. How many people sing and walking down the street, or they whistle, and someone walks in the direction, they stop singing until the other person passes, then you start singing or whistling, right? Why? So, in your car, you're alone, no one will judge you, you can be as crazy as you want. Plus, the windshield's right there, so you're actually getting a lot more bang for your buck in terms of physically feeling the vibrations that you're creating and that are interacting with you. Because as soon if the voice, my voice is not the only vibration that's interacting with me. If I'm using a bowl, I've got the bowl. If I'm singing with overtones, I've got other frequencies that are manifesting because of the physics of everything. Anyway, so in the car is a great place to do it. In the shower is even better because the acoustics are usually fun. And whenever I walk into a public bathroom, sometimes when I'm not alone, I will actually tone in the bathroom to hear the acoustics of it because it's fun. But you know, and there's always this one sweet spot because of the physics, the mathematics again. There's a louder, if you do a frequency sweep, which we're going to do in a second, if you do like, in a bathroom, one of the parts of that will be louder than the others because the the frequency, the vibrational wavelength matches the dimensions of the room. That's why you can actually design sound and music for spaces because of the acoustics. So it's fun. So those are some good benefits. Okay. Again, with your voice, it's free, and you know you can have it everywhere. So if you're ever burdened, you can just come back to yourself. You know, you don't need to seek a therapist. You can just sit there, not even with a bowl. You know, I sell them, but I don't need to. You can do it on your own. So, all right. And the whole point of this is to clear blocked emotional energy. Well, that's one of the points, but that's what I'm focusing on right now. Creativity comes with that. When you remove negative energy, you know, there's so much more room. The universe doesn't like a vacuum. So if you get all the stuff out with sound, then you have room for the good stuff. And the best thing is sound is a tool for transmuting energy. You know, you can call the violet flame, you can, you know, Reiki, clear things. If you go into a space like we did earlier and I just sounded the bowl, it organizes the chaotic energy in the room into geometric structures. Actually, sorry, light does geometry. Sound is, you know, waveform, but it's all the same. Because then I think waveform, light, and magnetism is whatever. All right, yay stuff. Okay, so now let's go back and I would like you to, on the pitch, it doesn't matter the pitch, but I want you to, the vowel sound, ah. Now it can be any variation of it. And I want to do this 3 times. Okay, ready? So on the inhale, you breathe and then you sound ah. And when you're making the sound, make it the same pitch. So it's not ah. I want it to be the same pitch. 3 times of the same pitch. You ready? And inhale. Let's try that again. I didn't tone because I didn't want to. I wanted to hear you, which sounds fantastic. You know, maybe if I was a conductor, ooh, little shark over there. I actually did conduct at one point. All right. So, what's my point? That was fabulous. So fabulous. We're going to move on because we have a little time left. Okay, perfect. Okay, when you let's do another one. Now, I would like you to individually explore your range on the pitch on the vowel ah. So you go ah. How high, or you know, just explore your own range. How many people have ever done that? Or if you have, when's the last time you've done that? Yeah? Right? Do you know how low you can go? Yeah. Believe me, you can expand your range in both directions if you practice toning on a regular, not even a regular basis. Like sometimes, like my voice now is getting deeper and deeper because I've been using it. So let's explore our range. Ready? Inhale. On one breath. One breath. And stop the sound when you're out of breath. What's the word OM? All right? How do you spell it? OMG? OHM? No? What is it? AUM? Right, different variations. Well, I was meditating. I tone on the sound OM. That's a great starting place for all of you, is to tone the sound OM. The word, the seed syllable, the creation, the everything, the OM. I guess it's vibration. If you went on a plate, like somatics where it creates designs, actually the sound OM, the seed syllable, creates a Sri Yantra symbol. It's crazy. Sanskrit is actually a vibrational language. where they know what the physical shape and effects of the seed syllables are on the body. You know, could be the Anunnaki or whatever, who, you know, whatever, Sumeria, all that fun ancient intelligent information. But as it is, we have the word Om. Okay, so when I tone Om, I actually slowly transition through the vowels and then the M at the end. M is more like an internal nurturing thing. When you go, you just feel it more inside than it projects outside. So it's a good end cap to this journey that I particularly interpret as like the exploring the entire universe of sound through toning over a time, the single utterance of the word Om. So when I'm in a yoga class and they end with 3 Oms, I'm always the last one because I'm still on my first Om when they're starting their third. So right now we got 3 minutes. I would like everyone to just tone the word Om, and let's do it 7 times. 7 times. So that means not all together. That means for you 7 times of an inhale and an exhale on Om. And I'm going to do really quickly what I'm talking about. Om. Right? So you're going the whole thing and really exaggerate the shape of the sound, the shape of the word, how it means for you, how it feels in your mouth, how it feels in your body, and then do that 7 times. And notice how long it is and how deep the experience is on the first one, and then afterwards how amazing it was on the 7th. Now you're all going to be at your own speed, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the bowl to give you a pitch reference. All right? And so, is everyone clear? This is for you to discover your own voice and its interaction with the bowl. And it should be really cool because it's really cool. Okay. Now, I'm going to count to 3 and then I'm going to ask you to inhale. Ready? 1, 2, other than the deafening roar of the air conditioners, silence is usually as equally important as the sound. After you tone or you have any sort of sound journey, you want to be in silence for a bit. My chime went off around my 6.5 poem, which means that this time portal, your time expired. But I hope I've ignited your curiosity to explore yourself at your convenience in any time, any location. Or to come visit my booth or my website, crystalmusichealing.com. My Facebook page, you can check it out. I am planning on appearing at the Conduit Center with the Bulls, and working on planning some classes and workshops in both sound healing and crystal healing. I am a distributor of these. I have to drop ship. I don't have any for sale. But if you buy one or order one, I give a free half-hour sort of crash course on Skype or in person about using the bowl and all that fun stuff. As you can tell, this is my passion in life, and I wouldn't be able to be here if it weren't for people interested, and I love to teach and I love to inspire, and I hope that I've succeeded doing both of those things today. Thank you.